Parent sex trafficking operation in downtown Omaha.
Today, details regarding what allegedly took place. According to police, the operation began at the American Inn in South Omaha, just off I-80. Now, in the hotel, police say a 15-year-old and 16-year-old girl were forced to have sex with multiple men for money, including all three hotel workers who are now being held without bond. The other three suspects, the alleged traffickers, each have their bond set between $5 and $10 million.
First Alert 6 spoke with the Women's Center for Advancement. It is a local organization working with survivors of sex trafficking.
Now, while they're not speaking on this specific case, they do want people to know that there are many misconceptions about sex trafficking. Arbel Karakta explains.
I think a lot of folks believe that trafficking can happen by somebody getting taken from a parking lot and then forced into the sex trade. But we know that that is typically not the case. It's more likely that a trafficker will use the internet or use somebody that the victim trusts to kind of entice them to join them in their business. A lot of times victims will feel as though the trafficker loves them.
Katie Welsh with the WCA says one of the goals is to support survivors in recognizing they don't need the trafficker and replacing whatever the trafficker was giving them.
The victim sees that I don't need to go back into that dangerous situation for myself. I can achieve all of these things with the help of my advocate and case manager.
Some people are more vulnerable than others. For example, people without citizenship, people in the LGBTQ community, and people facing financial hardship. But still,
trafficking can happen to anybody.
In Omaha, I'm Bella Karakta, First Alert 6.
Now, if you believe someone is the victim of human trafficking, you can notify the Nebraska Human Trafficking Hotline or the National Hotline, and you can find both those numbers on our website, firstalert6.com.